Hi guys, and welcome to another episode of Kabir Considers. In this video, I'm going to react to 10 American customs that might be offensive in other countries. Now, I've reacted to a couple of videos that kind of touch on similar topics, but never things that would be offensive. Like tipping, I don't know, maybe it would be offensive in Japan. I've heard in Japan they don't really like tipping. But other than that, I can't think of anything that I know Americans do that, you know, would actually cause offense. So yeah, this video I know is going to be really fascinating one. So let's get into it.
Hey, hold up a second. You may not want to do that. Welcome to WatchMojo.com, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 American customs that may be offensive in other countries.
Come on, Robin! Finish it!
For this list, we'll be looking at actions that are considered completely normal in American culture, but aren't exactly welcomed in others due to different understandings and traditions.
This is Natalia. She's my sister.
Number 10, wearing shoes in the house.
Yeah, I'm fine, man. I just stubbed my toe.
Oh, well, be careful, man. Be careful. Wear shoes in the house. Safety. Safety first, then teamwork.
Our first entry actually makes a whole lot of sense. Honestly, Americans may be wise to take note. In many Asian and Caribbean cultures, you are expected to take your shoes off when entering a home.
To be honest, that's over here as well. Like pretty much every home I've been into in my life, I've taken off my shoes. I just think it's because if you've got carpet, especially in some rooms, like even if you wipe your shoes really clean, there could still be a trace of dirt, and I'd hate to like mess up someone's carpet.
For sanitary reasons. Think about it. When you're outside, your shoes come into contact with endless amounts of dirt and germs.
Yeah.
A study published in the scientific journal Environmental Science and Technology revealed that 2/3 of household dust comes from soil tracked or blown in from outside. Taking your shoes off at the door prevents health hazards. And when you have children playing on the carpets, you want to prevent some unwanted illness. So Americans, take them off, would you?
In my house shoes. In my house shoes, in my house shoes, hollering at your hoe.
Number 9, altering your meal with condiments.
Kinda good. Need a little hot sauce, but it's kinda good though.
In the States, it's not uncommon to drown our favorite foods in ketchup, mustard, mayo, vinegar, relish, whatever the heart desires. It's almost expected. That is not the case, however, in many places abroad. In countries like France, Italy, Spain, and Japan, treating food with condiments can be considered a major insult. In these countries, it's understood that a meal is carefully prepared and designed to achieve a specific taste. Altering.
Yeah, I can imagine. Imagine like you've slaved away in the kitchen, you know, like to make this amazing meal, and you put it in front of someone, and before they've even tried it, they're just drowning it in ketchup. Oh, that would break my heart. That would be so bad.
The meal is an insult to the chef, and essentially saying the meal is not good enough to be eaten on its own, and needs extra flavor just to be bearable. Probably not what Americans intend, but that's the message received.
Salty.
Number 8, showing the soles of your feet.
That's what needs rubbing. Come on, harder, harder, harder.
Like our first entry, there's a certain amount of logic behind this one that we totally get. That and an understanding of symbolism.
Showing the soles of what?
It all has to do with the fact that the sole of your foot is the lowest part of the human body and that it touches the dirty ground. In many Buddhist, Hindu, Muslim, and Arab cultures, this means the foot symbolizes the lowest level of humanity and, well, dirt. So if an American reveals the sole of their foot to another person, the message conveyed is that they think the other person is only worthy of, yes, dirt. That's not exactly received as a compliment.
Wow, that's interesting.
I've
never heard that one before. Because the sole of your foot is still a part of the human body. Like, yeah, it touches the floor, but I mean... Anyway.
7, asking, what do you do?
So what do you do for a living?
I'm a dancer.
Ballet.
No. Exotic.
In American culture, asking someone about their job is totally normal. It's one of those go-to conversation topics when you meet someone new and don't have a lot to talk about. People typically use it to be polite, feigning an interest in the person across from them.
It's sort of embarrassing to ask at this point, but what do you do for work?
Me and my roommates have we're starting an internet website.
The thing is, in many other countries, inquiring about someone's job is not polite at all. In countries like the Netherlands, it's actually considered fairly insulting because it implies you will treat a person differently based on their employment status. Particularly in countries with social welfare systems, it emphasizes a concern for class and social status, rather than the personal qualities and values that make a person unique.
So you're a paleontologist, right?
Yeah.
My cousin's a paleontologist.
Huh?
Number 6, blowing your nose in public.
Okay.
For a few of these entries, you may be starting to notice a pattern pertaining to cleanliness. Totally understandable. Cleanliness is related to health, and who wants to...
Blowing your nose in public? But what if, you can feel like something in there, you can feel yourself all bunged up. So have you got to walk around like... Have you got to walk around like that until you get home? I mean, what's the harm in blowing your nose?
To get sick. And when blowing your nose, you're potentially spreading germs, and nobody wants that. But in countries like China, Japan, France, and some Middle Eastern countries, it's as much about politeness as cleanliness. After all, blowing your nose is a form of spreading germs that a person can actually control. A sneeze is involuntary, but blowing one's nose is a completely conscious choice. So for future reference, Americans, be sure to head to the bathroom.
If you're feeling simply, give a hug and get relief. Blow, blow, blow your nose.
Number 5, finishing off your plate.
Matilda, right? Classic movie. I've watched this film when I was a kid at least 50 times. Miss Trunchbull. Miss Trunchbull.
In America, polishing off your plate is a compliment. It means you thoroughly enjoyed your meal, and not doing so may send the message that you disliked your food.
She's gonna puke. But Robin did not puke. She ate that bite and stood up proud.
However, in countries like China, the Philippines, Thailand, and Russia, the exact opposite is true. Finishing your plate means that the host did not prepare enough food for you. While Americans probably hope to compliment their host by eating everything on their plate, they are actually implying the host did not provide enough in the first place. If you really want to make your host happy, leave a bite or two behind. Also, in an
Man, that is not how I roll. Like, if I'm enjoying a plate of food, like you might get that plate back looking like completely clean. Like, I will eat every single morsel of food on that plate. Because that's how I would want to, receive a plate back from someone. Empty, that they've enjoyed it. They didn't want to waste a single drop.
Arab country, don't refuse food you're offered. That's considered disrespectful.
Tina, eat. Eat the food. Eat the food!
Number 4, laughing with your mouth open.
But could you pay me in advance?
I remember that scene.
Alright, in Japan, this one proves to be offensive on 2 levels. First, like many on this list, it's a little unsanitary. Laughing with your mouth open can spew germs into the air to infect all in the area.
Oh, come on. I mean, does everything have to be like, worrying about germs? Can't we just live a little bit? So whenever I want to laugh, have I got to be like, I mean, where's the fun in that?
So yes, those in your vicinity may not be too thrilled. But there's actually another reason why this custom is considered insulting. In Japan, the visual and auditory experience of open-mouthed laughter is compared to horses squealing. Women in Japan will usually cover their mouths when laughing in public places. It's only polite to separate yourself from the animals. Number 3, using your left hand.
Oh man, this was a classic episode of The Simpsons. This is the one with the wishbone, I think. And Homer wishes for Ned's demise.
For anything.
Like 1 out of every 9 Americans, I'm left-handed.
And let me tell you, it ain't all peaches and cream. Your writing gets smeared. Lord help you if you want to drive a standard transmission.
Okay, in America, it doesn't really matter whether you use your right hand or left to do anything. It's not even a thought that crosses anyone's mind. But in many Middle Eastern and African countries, the left hand carries special significance. Historically, the left was the hand used during sanitary procedures.
You should not eat with your left hand. In India, we eat with the right hand. Left hand is considered to be unclean.
Specifically, the left hand with some water is used in lieu of toilet paper. Because of this, presenting another person with the left hand is associating that person with the dirtiness of, well, you get the picture. As we are sure all our viewers can understand, it's offensive to be associated with that. Better play it safe and use the right hand.
Well, your left hand's free, and your right's in grip, with another left hand, watches right and slip.
Number 2,
I remember that song, classic.
throwing a thumbs up.
I like Halloween very much. It's nice.
There are a lot of common hand signs out there that can be interpreted as vulgar elsewhere. You have the peace sign, the A-OK, crossing your fingers. You may have to think about that one. But the most widely spread offensive hand sign is the thumbs up.
Thumbs up, dude. Good pitch.
For many countries in the Middle East, Latin America, and Europe, the thumbs up sign is the equivalent of the American middle finger. You all know what that means. But here's the thing, it's a major problem for Americans, because in America, the thumbs up is probably the most positive sign you can give someone.
Same as here in the UK, you know. All right, mate?
Except for, of course, the double thumbs up. Sadly, that is not the case abroad. Be warned, Americans, restrain yourselves. No thumbs up. You'll thank us later.
And my own personal thumbs up.
Before we unveil our number 1 pick, here are some honorable mentions.
Animals feed on the Charlie White. Egg. Open it. A hot dog.
Boop, boop, boop. Can't wear a shirt, the bitches lift it all up. I'm tatting my body till I filled it all up.
Number 1, tipping.
I don't tip.
You don't tip?
Oh, mate, classic scene, classic movie.
Believe in it.
Of all the entries on this list, our number 1 pick is probably the most well-known. With that said, Americans continue to make this mistake, and it continues to be offensive. Tipping is such a difficult custom to navigate because not tipping holds such a stigma in the United States.
Let's get one thing straight. If you live in America, you have to tip.
In America, tipping is expected in restaurants, as waiters depend on them, and customers are chastised if they tip poorly. However, in countries like Japan and South Korea, tipping is actually frowned upon because it's considered charity. In these countries, waiters take pride in their job and are insulted by the added incentive to do a good job. Ultimately, it signals a lack of respect. So when you're out to eat in certain Asian...
How much would you say you spend on tips annually? How much have you spent in maybe not 2021 because it's not been a normal year, but let's say 2018 with all of the restaurants you went out to, all of the services that you used, how much did you spend on tips? Because I would guess that the average American probably spends maybe at least $3,000 annually on tips. Bit less, bit more, let me know.
In countries, it's best that you just don't do this.
Should we not tip her?
No, I don't want to get yelled at.
Do you agree with our list? What American custom do you think is the most offensive abroad?
Blow your nose. Don't use your sleeve. That's totally gross.
For more interesting top 10s published every day, be sure to subscribe to Watch Mojo.
Really interesting list. I have to say, the one about the soles of your foot, like keeping them, not making them visible, that one's a bit extreme. I just don't know why someone would find that offensive. But then again, different cultures, different customs, different ways of life, but still it's just but yeah, very, very fascinating list. Really enjoy stuff like this. Need to see more. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next one.